Is it working? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the panel on public transports promoted by IMT, the Portuguese Institute for Mobility and Transport. Portugal introduced in 2019 a program to reduce monthly tariffs for public transport and to increase the capacity of the system. The work done by IMT in the implementation of those policies was recently recognized with a national prize by a leading Portuguese university as an example of best public policies into 2023. I take this opportunity to acknowledge the work of Rui Velasco, one of IMT's directors, and his team on paving the way toward a stronger public transport system. As we all know, public transport is a service that plays an important role in our daily lives. It provides a means of transportation for millions of people every day, enabling them to get to work, to get to school, to have access to culture, and to nurture social relations. By reducing the cost of public transport and by increasing its offer, we can make it more affordable and accessible for everyone, regardless of their financial status. This will not only benefit individuals, but also the community by reducing congestion and decreasing the environmental and climate impact of transport. Early this year, IMT presented a project that aims at creating a single nationwide ticketing platform shared by all operators in all regions of Portugal. The OneBilhete.pt platform will allow to create new schemes of reduced tariffs at national levels, helping overcome adoption barriers. Together with larger investment in rail and in other means of public transport, Portugal is starting to create a solid public transport system that promises to substantially change how people move around with environmental and economical gains to everyone. To discuss how can public transport steer Portugal towards carbon neutrality, IMT invited for this morning's section a panel of distinguished personalities. Please welcome to this panel Mr. Jorge Delgado, Secretary of State for Urban Mobility, Mr. Faustino Gomes, Chairperson of the Lisbon Transport System, Mr. Yang Tai Kim, Secretary General for the International Transport Forum, Ms. Sofia Pires Bento, Coordinator of the Portuguese Active Mobility Strategies, and Mr. Manuel Paulo Teixeira, Administrator of Porto's Intermodal Transport System. Thank you all for having accepted the invitation to be here today. I will join you in the discussion. Mr. Secretary of State, you are currently the Secretary of State for Urban Mobility. Previously, you were the Secretary of State for Infrastructure. Tell us a little bit how this transformation is happening, and in what your opinion, the main measures that are accelerating public transport transformation in public are.
Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. Once again, it's a great pleasure to be here in this Portuguese pavilion in a session organized by IMT. It's true, I have already been involved in the infrastructure Secretary of State, and now I am in the urban mobility. It's a division not very usual in other countries, but we have it in Portugal. To be honest, since 2016, the priorities in public transport were recognized, and the decisions about making things happen, trying to achieve a more sustainable transport system was decided, and the funding of measures to achieve this goal was also decided and is on the way. We have some national measures and some more local or regional measures. First of all, from the national point of view, we have a huge investment undergoing on the modernization and electrification of our railway network. It's about 2,000 million euros that are finishing now, 2023, 2024, renewing all the old lines, improving the quality of the service that we have there. It's a network that must be that must have all the capillarity connecting all the country. Then at the more local or regional level, we have first of all the big metropolitan areas where investments on the extensions and new lines of the subways or light rails, like in Porto, are ongoing. We have two lines being on the ground in Porto and one in Lisbon. And also in other cities smaller than Porto and Lisbon, like Coimbra, we have systems like BRTs that will be concluded also next year. So in addition to this, we are financing the purchase of green buses. We have a big investment in the electric mobility area. We decided also to promote and to approve our national strategies for active mobility, and investments on this area are really on the ground. From the side of the users and the price of the tickets, we start in 2019 a program for the reduction of the price of the tickets that had a big success. The increment of public transport users was very big. It causes as a problem because the system was not prepared for this increase of utilization. Then with the pandemics, well, the figures went down, and now we recovered and we even passed the figures that we had in 2019. This year, in 2023, we are going to spend till the end of the year something like 360 million euros supporting the reduction of the prices. And for the next year, once our national budget for 2024 is already approved, we'll increment this value to 410 million in order to allocate more funds, mainly for the local authorities of transports that will have the opportunity to adopt measures like incrementing the networks, reinforcing the networks, increasing the quality of the service that are giving to their citizens. So we have a huge plan of investments. It takes time to happen, and that's something that it's a little bit like we feel like things are going to happen, but we don't have still the things on the field. So we must wait a little bit to see all these networks running. It will start in the next semester.
Thank you, George. In fact, we had 2 years of pandemic, which somehow paused this transformation that started in 2019. And so we expect this that can now take over and accelerate. Mr. Yang Tai Kim, thank you for having accepted our invitation. The International Transport Forum has an excellency hub for the production and exchange of good practices on transport across the world. What can you tell us about what the other countries are doing? What can we learn from them? And what can the other countries learn from Portugal as well? Thank you.
Thank you for, hello? Is it okay? Do you hear me? Okay. Thank you for inviting me to this the panel discussion. In fact, ITF started in 2006, so we are very young, and as a global platform. But before that, it was an ECMT platform, so mostly a European platform dealing with surface transportation, the road sector. But at the time, the European ministers of transport decided to open the gate to the world and to make this platform more global. And from that moment, we are now currently 66 member countries. And I don't think this is enough, because 66, meaning that with 44 European countries, remaining countries are, I would say, is a very small number. But why we have to make this platform more globalized? Because we want to collect the more diversified information, because we are working on the same question, in fact, decarbonizing transport and urban mobility issues and investment in infrastructure. But how can we know what others are doing? That's very important. But still we are Euro-focused, but we are now fast growing. So in 2017, when I joined the ITF as Secretary General, we started with 59 countries, but now we are currently 66. And Oman recently applied for membership, so it'll be 67th member next year. And we are extending our outreach activities for Latin America and Asia. So very soon we'll be 70, 80, even 90. And I think with that growing number of cooperators, we can really bring the new ideas and new insights to provide our member countries with relevant policy options, in fact. And also at the same time, ITF has a very interesting, the body is called Corporate Partnership Board, and SEIA is one of the corporate partners, and we have 34 currently corporate partners from around the world. And recently, yesterday, DP World from UAE joined, and also this year we had Microsoft, and recently also we had Amazon, and we have 7 energy companies. That means that you can already guess that we are going beyond the transport. Why? Because we don't need transport people, transport experts. I think our conversation is very limited. And now we are adding more dimensions to our discussion on mobility. We talk about gender, we talk about social aspect and environment aspect, and of course economic aspect as well. And I would say in the World Bank already they defined sustainability with 4 elements. So when we talk about sustainability, we usually think about environment. Especially at the COP meeting, we focus more on environment, but now we have a much broader notion of sustainability. So they say economic element, and inclusive element, and green element, and safe element. They all constitute the notion of sustainability. So I think focusing on that, we are trying to expand our platform, and we really work on reaching out to other stakeholders. So I think that will bring benefits to all of us. And Portugal is a valued member, and always thank for the active participation.
Thank you very much. Faustino, Lisbon's metropolitan area has been undergoing a considerable transformation in the transport ecosystem. There was, the governance has changed. There was the integration of different operators into a single operator. Tell us about how that experience went. What did you learn from it? What were we able to overcome with that transformation, and what the challenges are ahead?
Hello, good morning. Thank you for the invitation. Let's bring some hope to this discussion, okay? Because looking for the past and the recent past, 2019, with the help of the governments and also with the help of the municipalities, because the municipalities put some money also in the system, we had the chance to create Navigante. And Navigante is a tariff system that changed a lot the image of the Lisbon metropolitan area. Because it's not only that the ticket is cheaper, it's much cheaper, no doubt about that, but it also enlarged a lot the coverage. Not only the geographical coverage, because we start the existing ticketing system covers only 1/3 of the territory. Now we cover all the Lisbon metropolitan area. It covers 2/3 of the population, now covers everyone. And most important, or also very important, now covers all modes. So if you want, you don't need to think about how can I pay this. It's all included, it's all in the same card, it's all in the same movement, just use your card. So it is a huge difference from now. And again, 2020, COVID, lots of people decided to not use, but 2021 we were created, so we are even younger than our colleagues here from ITF. The TML is now focused exclusively on the person, on the people, on the user. So we start for the user. Now we think we enlarge the scope for the citizen, because we know that the using public transport is not good, only good for the users, but also for the other people that benefit from the system. So we are authority for the public transport bus systems, except for 3 municipalities, and we are authority for all the ticketing system, for all the operators. So in 2022 we start managing one large contract. It's not a contract, it's 4 contracts, but it's only one brand. The brand is Carris Metropolitana. My tie is from Carris Metropolitana, because we really believe that if we give a solution to the people use it. And we are now recovering, and we have already reached the figures before COVID. So, and it is important to say that the change from Navigant represents more than 20% people using the system. So we are recovering that. So we expect to have more and more people using public transport. But it is enough? No, it isn't. It is not enough what we have done. We know that we are in a process. We know that we have done lots of things, but there are even more things to do in the future. I'd like to split this in things that we can do inside the public transport system and things that we need the other ones. Inside the public transport system, we think there are 3 main words that define what is needed. Make the offer more reliable. People need to believe that the bus will be there, the metro will be there, all the modes will be on time. So this is critical. The other thing is usability. Make the things simple to a user. So we have to work on that. We are working on that, but there is a huge path in front of us that we should be aware and do it. And the third one is I have my notes, but I cannot read my notes. Affordability. Okay, we need to make the things. The user wants to use the system. Okay, it is important to have that, because without that we cannot attract people. Okay, we can work with the younger people. We can work by segments. We can work in many directions, but if we don't make the act a simple act, that will be difficult. On the other side, working outside the system, okay, we should think that public transport is important, but it's not the only option. So we must work with the others. We must not forget that now the micromobility is a question, but it's also a solution for some parts of the trip. So let's work together. This is the main thing that I want to say. We cannot work against. We must work together with the other modes besides the public transport.
Thank you, Faustino. So working together means integration, and Porto is following the steps of Lisbon as well in the integration of the different operators into a single ecosystem. But now we have also the pressure from neighboring territories that want to be integrated in the Porto metropolitan area. So in order to create a larger metropolitan transport system, So tell us about those challenges of integrating what you have just did in Porto with the neighboring territories, and also how important will be this ticketing, integrated ticketing nationwide platform that we are working together with you and with Lisbon.
Thank you for the question, and it's a pleasure to be here today. Well, in the Porto metropolitan area, we had an advantage of a system that started with a single ticket for different modes and different operators, public and private. It's the well-known Andante, and people integrated that as their own mark also. So Andante makes already made 20 years contactless ticket system, and I think it's a quality product, so people recognize it as a quality part of the public transport. The public transport it's a system composed by the information, the ticketing, of course, the fleets of the vehicles and the stations and stops, and all the urban design to receive those equipments. And the ticketing it's very important. It's the front door to enter into the public transports. So we've been working in the all metropolitan area, these 17 municipalities. They are very very different between them, and the Porto city is the central part, the most interesting part for the commuters. So, but there's very different realities. But we adapt everything in this area according to the population we have and according to the transport systems that already exist. About the neighbor authorities that are interested to integrate the Andante system, it's already happened, and what is the secret to, or what should we do when we receive that type of proposal? Well, the main thing is be open to hear the population, because the borders are theoretical. People in their daily basis, when they go from work to study or to their jobs, they don't realize they are crossing a border of a region. So what they want to do is to go from here to there in a daily basis in the easiest way as possible. And because they recognize in the Andante system, this ticketing system, an easy way to travel, they want to integrate it. And we hear that population. We promote the talk between the authority of the metropolitan Porto metropolitan area and about these territories, the SIMs, the municipality communities around the metropolitan area, and try to find the products that adapt to that reality. I can give some numbers about one case that we already have on the field. We created a combined title from a metropolitan area and that SIM from Tamgay Souza, and so people, they only buy one pass for months, and since we put this product on the floor, that 5,000 people took their pass, and in monthly we have 150,000 travels from that people. So it's really important. It's a very single measure. We create a product. It's the same product that we already have. So it's an Andante pass, but it's combined with the neighbor authorities, and it works. And it involves also different modes of transport, including trains. So we have trains, and we have the buses, of course, and then inside the metropolitan area you have the subway and the light rail, also in a funicular and a historical tram. So people have 5 different modes of transport that use freely with this single ticket. So.
Thank you. So, in fact, this integration of different modes, this creates a system where people can move around, can reach further away in an integrated system. But in order to get to a public transport station, we need to get there. And we can get there by walking, we can get there by cycling, we can get there with our private cars. Sofia is the national coordinator for the strategies of active mobility. And this is a question to you, Sofia, is how can we, by promoting active modes of transport, help also with the adoption of public transport, because these active modes can work as the first and last mile of this transport system?
Yes, thank you for the question. And thank you for the invitation to be here and to speak about the most powerful means of transportation, that is walking and cycling. As you said, since 2019, Portugal has a cycling strategy, and now a baby strategy launched this summer. So regarding years that you already talked, we are the babiest in this panel. And yes, walking and cycling is the most powerful means for transportation, combined most powerfully with public transport. So we must take care that ticketing also includes cycling. Walking, it's something that all of us are doing, but cycling in the ticketing and taking your own words, it is important to be in the ticketing system. And we also must put pedestrians in the center of all public policies that we develop. We must ensure that stations are attractive and safer, that are comfortable, that are prepared for active mobility, so they are accessible by foot and also by bike, and all the means and all the people are included. So stations and vehicles must be walking friendly, cycling friendly, and should allow everyone to be in there, children, adults, elderly, and disabled people. And the stations should also be equipped with lockers and devices to recharge electric bikes, and also safe parks for bikes. And I already said the integration of bicycles also in the ticketing system to enhance more public transportation. That's it.
Thank you, Sofia. Mr. Secretary of State, once again, back to you. Intermodality is probably one of the key actions to guarantee adoption of public transport. But to be effective, we have to have functional interfaces. Either they are physical interfaces or digital interfaces. So how do you foresee the future of public transport, and how important are these interfaces that guarantee a smooth transition between different modes so that people have a more effective way of going to work, to school, using public transport?
Well, interfaces are fundamental, of course. They are part of this concept of transforming the utilization of public transport much easier. And it's related with all the things that have been said till now in this panel. When Faustino talked about integration between buses and metros, we are talking about the need of good interfaces. When we talk about active mobility, like Sofia was talking, we are talking about having bicycles parking places to make this interface with buses and metros, and also when in the digital point of view, and Manuel Paulo is an example from a city, a metropolitan area that started early in 2000 with an integrated ticket system, well motivated by the fact that we start from scratch a new metro system mobility, and that creates the opportunity to make it. We are talking about integration, of course, and this is really key. We need to have, of course, good infrastructures, first of all. Without them, no possibilities. Good metros, good buses networks. we have to design better our cities for a better active mobility. The kingdom of the car dominated totally our cities, and nowadays it's not so comfortable or safe to walk or to ride a bike. So we must go back to the basics, and we must make our cities more green, with bigger sidewalks, with bike lines, more human cities, and all this makes part of the integration. I just would like to highlight something that I didn't say in the beginning. It's also a principle that is, first of all, the first measure to improve the quality of our lives in what transport is concerned is to reduce our needs of movement. We are moving too much, I think, and we might give contributes to that, transforming the urban plans of the cities. We don't need to go everyone at the same time to the same commercial center or to the same supermarket. We may have more local services that solve our needs at 15 minutes walking. And also maybe we may review the way we work, our schedules of work, and take more profit from the possibilities of the telework. That's something that before all the things we are talking about, we must think about this either. Otherwise, the interface, and coming back to your question, interfaces are fundamental, and they are related with everything that is being said here in this morning.
Thank you. Young Tai Kim, the provocative question of the Portuguese pavilion is it enough? And apparently the answer is no, it's not enough. We have to do something more. What do you think, what does ITF identifies as the key changers for public transport across the world? What do we have to do that we haven't done so far?
I think for a long time in the mobility sector, there has been a prefixed idea. It's a biased idea, I would say. The public transport is good, and we have to make people use more public transport, make them give up their private car. So I think the kind of explanation becomes very strong logic when we try to convince other people. But we have to also think about this question from public transport side. Is public transport system ready to accommodate all the people coming from the private car users world? And I see so many different examples in different cities and different countries. And for example, as I mentioned at the beginning, there are 4 elements of sustainability, and we usually talk about sustainable public transport system today. And naturally, we can ask the following question: is it safe? Is it convenient? And management of public transport system is economical? And is it also inclusive? So, sometimes it's not easy to make the golden point considering all those 4 elements. But I think the game changer, definitely, I can say that it's a digital revolution. So now we can control everything with our cell phone, like a small platform in our daily life. And we know what is MaaS, mobility as a service. That means that we can combine different modes of public transport system. So from taxi to metro to bus and so on and so on. But all the countries have different system, and they develop and they invest in the past right now, and we want to change it. And I think challenges come from that kind of complication. So for example, in Korea, where I come from, the bus operators are mostly private sector, and whereas metro operators is public sector. But we can have only one transport card, so combined to credit card. So we can use it in the whole country, but there is a good coordination mechanism between private and public sector. But before that, basically, it was not easy to make a coordination in the sense. And also in Paris, where I live, we say public transport is very good, and Anne Hidalgo, the mayor, is pushing people to give up private car use in Parisian region. But in fact, I would say Parisian metro system with 100 years of history, I don't think it's ready to take all the people coming from private car user sectors. So I think all this kind of the complication, the reality, we have to exchange more best practices and sharing more information. But also recently we talk about the free public transport services, just like what we see in Luxembourg and in Estonia, and anybody can use it for free. And even in Korea, people over 65 can freely use metro, not bus. And then we have to think about who has to pay for that. That should be based on the consensus of a society. And easily we say we have to make this system affordable and easy to use and convenient. But in fact, behind all those explanations, there are a lot of challenges ahead. So I think we have to work closely more, especially private sector and public sector, working together to discuss in detail. We already have a lot of goals and objectives, but how to implement from ambition to action. When I was coming from the airport, I still see the slogan, from ambition to action. That repeats, and we have to find more implementation method.
Thank you. So we're facing a societal challenge. So it's clear that private and public sector have to work together in order to overcome this challenge. Faustino, in Lisbon, you have, as I said, you have gone a long way, integrated ticketing. Now you are deploying digital information systems across the metropolitan area. Is it enough, or do we have to go further than that?
It's a step. It's a step that must be done, because people don't want to know what is the timetable of Carris Metropolitana, the bus operator, or Carris or Metro. People want to go from A to B. People want to know what is the sequence of the modes that they should use and what will be the cost in the logic of mass, but also inside the ticket, inside the card. So it's not enough, but it is important to give to the user the opportunity to understand the links between the modes and give them the right information. It's because I'm a little bit skeptic about the mass solution, because we didn't discuss yet enough who should provide the database for that. Okay, okay, we are facing lots of challenges now. I want to add something related with integration. I used to say that I'm the bored guy that always talk about integration, because I really believe that integration is the key. So tariffs, okay, done. Okay, but there are other dimensions on the integration that we should discuss. The logic of the integration. Okay, of course, the information is key for the logic information. We should discuss also the information of the integration of technological systems, because now I'm facing that everything seems to work, but it doesn't work. So how? Why? Because we need to talk with different systems, and there is always something that is a little bit different, though the integration of the systems is also very, very important, and we cannot say, okay, let's forget what exists and now build something from the scratch. Now, there are times for that, and this is not that time. And also, of course, we need to discuss the institutional integration, because we face, again, challenge. It's not a challenge, it's really a problem. It's really a problem, but the institutional integration is really a problem, because, for instance, when we talk about interchanges or interfaces, they are crucial for the system. But who is the owner of the, for instance, the major interchange in Lisbon, Garbo Oriente? Who is the owner? So it's difficult to face all these challenges without having someone to talk with. So the institutional integration is also very, very needed. So I believe that there is a path. It is clear what we have to do. It is clear that we need time, but it is clear that the time is too short to deliver things to the people. So our strategy is, when we have something, we put it on service, okay? And working based on that, it is important to give the people the idea that there is something changing. And if we give this to the user start thinking, oh, maybe there is a chance to use it. It's everything we want is make this change. Leave the car once and use the public transport. If you do this, in the end, you will see that there is ways to combine both, and in the end, to use only the public transport.
Thank you, Faustino. I think we need another panel about institutional architecture and governance models for the challenges of urban mobility and public transport. You talked about mobility as a service. Maybe we have to start talking about energy and mobility as a service. There's new challenges there. We don't have the right architecture in terms of institutions and governance models. Maybe we need a new panel. Let's leave it for when we get back to Lisbon to discuss those things. Manuel Paulo, how is this challenging also the sustainability of companies in the ecosystem? What are you doing to be more sustainable?
Well, basically, we try to know ourselves better, to know our footprint in an environmental framework. We in the Porto region and the Andante, we are in a moment of transition from physical ticketing to digital ticketing. But even the decision of having a ticket that is reusable, that we can load several times, has a huge impact nowadays. I can give you some numbers. Until now, and this is how we try to know all the time our footprint. Until now, in the Andante system, since the beginning of the year, people loaded 10.5 million trips. Those 10.5 million trips, they were loaded in 2.6 Andante cards. It means that the use is an average of 4 times each card. That simple measure allows us to save 18 tons of paper waste, corresponding to more or less 300 trees saved also, and more or less 150,000 liters of water. So, and it's a very simple step. So the decision to have a reuse ticket, that is common now in every system, the modern systems that we know. Also, we're concerned about the cards in plastic that we have for passes, and we'll try to find in the market suppliers of those cards made 100% from recycled plastic. And we found it. We already have it for transport cards and also for bank cards. And we take the immediate decision to, in 2024, all our cards, all our tenders that we do to have new cards, they will be made 100% of recycled plastic. So, and we can reuse more or less 1 ton of plastic a year. So those small steps, those small things, we must be aware of the importance of it, because it's just a part of the system. But if we keep this concentration in every step, it's very important, including in the small gestures that we have, as produce some gifts for for our clients, like these hand fans that you have on your seats. They are 100% recycled. So it's very, very important to be concentrating that matter. Public transport as an whole system, it's elementary that we recognize the importance of people using public transport, but of course, those small measures are also important. Let me just finish saying about a very challenging and a national project that we are working with mainly with Lisbon, but all the other regions of the country is Bilhete.pt. It's a very the main goal of this project is to allow people to have to have total interoperability between the different ticketing systems all over the country. That allows people that they only buy one card, and when they go to other region of the country, this card is recognized by the system. They can load and validate trips in the same ticket. It's one step. It makes very easy for people. It invites people to use public transport because they don't have to have the awareness of I have to buy a new ticket to travel from Porto to Lisbon, or from Lisbon to Algarve, to Portimão, or to Braga. That's one step. But because it's a national coverage, also as an environmental significant advantages, because we can save a lot the issuance of tickets. That a lot of them are a single use, so and then they are wasted. So.
Thank you very much, Manuel. Sofia, last question to you. A few weeks ago, IMT, together with the project group of the Active Mobility, organized a conference on the importance of autonomy of children and teenagers in school age, on their habits, mobility habits, mainly on how important it is for kids and teenagers to go to school alone, without their parents, either walking, cycling, or riding the public transport. Can you tell us about that event and what were the learnings we got? We invited people from all over the country to tell us about their experiences. It was a very interesting conference with showcases from across Portugal. Tell us a little bit about what we've learned from that event, and now what else can we do in making and having kids go to school by themselves?
Thank you. It was really a great event. It was amazing to put that event on place. It was a joint venture between IMT and the group of projects, and it was amazing. And I also want to stress that education is the main priority of our walking strategy. Also, not only education, but also culture and planning and infrastructures and financing. But children and young people are very important in shaping the future. So educating for a new culture of mobility is fundamental to change the behavior for a more sustainable, more active, and more healthy future. So children and young are very important for us in order to have a sustainable future. When we encourage children and young people to travel to school and from school on foot, by bicycle, or even in public transport, we are creating better cities and a better quality of life. So we are improving habits, healthy habits, physical activity, emotional and mental well-being, and we are raising environmental awareness, and we are also promoting a sense of community, belonging to the community, and that is very important for the future. And yes, children are our future, and we must educate them since the beginning to walk more, to cycle more, and to use public transport besides going in their parents' cars to school. That's it.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Thank you very much, everyone, once again. I'm not opening the floor for questions, but I'm sure everyone will be happy to answer your questions in a one-to-one conversation. So thank you, everyone, for this opportunity. Thank you.
está na hora. Está na hora de mudar como nos movemos na cidade das cidades. Aproximar as pessoas e os sítios. De pensar num presente sustentável. Nascemos para promover soluções integradas de mobilidade na área metropolitana de Lisboa. Para estar mais perto das pessoas e levá-las onde precisam de estar. Está na hora de pensar em todos. Promover uma mobilidade coletiva, partilhada e verde. Reduzir emissões, descarbonizar e ir mais além. Está na hora do transporte público estar no centro da mobilidade. A mudança está em curso para criar uma região renovada, dinâmica e ligada. Com as pessoas sempre no centro. Está na hora de chegarmos melhor, mais longe e a todos.
Quando vais de carro, coisas maravilhosas acontecem. Observas as paisagens, conheces pessoas e nada te pode parar. Ah, liberdade. Queres melhor? Vai de navegante. Por 40 euros por mês, poupas tempo, poupas dinheiro e vais para todo o lado na Grande Lisboa. Navegante. Vai mais longe. Quando vais de carro, chegar ao trabalho não custa nada. 1 euro, 2 euros, 50 euros, 120 euros. Queres melhor? Vai de navegante. Por 40 euros por mês, poupas tempo, poupas dinheiro e vais para todo o lado na Grande Lisboa. Navegante. Vai mais longe.
Toda a mudança é uma viagem com antes e depois. Esta é a viagem do navegante. Antes, passos intermodais, combinados, próprios, senhas, cartões, milhares de títulos e combinações. 7.746 para ser mais exata. Com o navegante, criou-se uma estrutura tarifária mais simples. Navegante metropolitano, municipal, navegante 12, mais 65 e navegante família. Os preços do navegante falam por si. 87% dos passos mensais custava mais de 40 euros. No passado, o título com maior abrangência não cobria mais de 30% da área metropolitana de Lisboa, nem permitia utilizar todos os modos de transporte disponíveis. Com o navegante, não só se reduz o preço, como aumenta o raio de ação, abrangendo 18 municípios, toda a área metropolitana de Lisboa, podendo servir até 2,8 milhões de pessoas. Para chegar a todos, os descontos continuam a aplicar-se. Agora, com o Navegante Família, os agregados familiares de 3 ou mais pessoas não pagam mais do que 2 passos por mês. Com o Navegante Municipal e Metropolitano, viaja as vezes que quiser, por um custo aproximado de 1 euro por dia. Um cartão, tantas vantagens. Redução tarifária, gratuitidade para as crianças, título para famílias, abrangência geográfica metropolitana e diversidade territorial, todos os transportes. Viajar com o navegante é mais, muito mais. Navegante. Direito à mobilidade.
respirar, de ter uma vida boa, ser feliz, de ter menos poluição na cidade onde moro, de poder brincar mais à vontade, com menos barulho. Quero que os meus pais andem mais de bicicleta e os meus avós andem mais a pé, para estarem mais anos comigo. Quero crescer a respirar ar puro, conhecer as estações do ano e poder ansiar pelo verão no inverno. Quero sentir-me segura, saudável e livre. Todos os pequenos passos que demos contam. Todos juntos podemos poupar o planeta e reduzir emissões. Largar o carro e andar de transporte é um passo importante. Amanhã, por favor, acordem e escolham andar de transporte. Escolham poupar o planeta com a ajuda do navegante. O navegante é a mobilidade verde das pessoas. É um direito a viajar em modo sustentável, que chega agora também às empresas. E pode chegar à tua, pai. O navegante Empresas promove a responsabilidade social com políticas integradas de transporte com acesso a benefícios fiscais. Sempre com o foco em poupar o ambiente. Navegante Empresas, a pensar no meu e no nosso futuro.
Quando vais de carro, nada te pode parar, exceto o para-arranca. O para, arranca. Para. Queres melhor? Vai de navegante. Por 40 € por mês, poupas tempo, poupas dinheiro e vais para todo o lado na Grande Lisboa. Navegante, vai mais longe.